Welcome back to Not Just Candle Talk, the podcast where creators, entrepreneurs, and small business builders get real about the hustle, the strategy, the win, and of course, the mess. I'm Tony, and today we're going deep on strategic business planning. Not the boardroom jargon, but the stuff you can actually use to scale, pivot, survive, and thrive for the rest of this year and going into the next year. Because here's the thing, right? You're not just building a side hustle. We're not doing that anymore. You're building a business. Your creativity is your fuel, but your plan is what turns it into a sustainable machine. And especially now, right? With so many things happening in technology, in content, how content gets consumed, and how entrepreneurship actually looks. So, if you don't have a plan, you're handing your future to chance. A real quick snapshot of what's coming up on this episode. We're going to cover why planning matters. We're going to get into the 5 pillars of a killer strategic plan, and also how to implement it in your creativity and your entrepreneur journey. We're going to get into some current events and what they're telling us, and I'll leave you with a blueprint you can use right now. So if you will, grab your notebook, open your mind, and let's get into it. First, why are we even talking about planning? Okay? Because too many creators and entrepreneurs go into execution mode without ever stopping to map the territory. They treat strategy like a one-time thing. They'll say things like, I'll figure it out as I go. But that's kind of risky. So here are 3 urgent reasons now is the moment for strategy. Number 1, volatility is high. For starters, AI adoption is exploding. We all know that. According to recent data, the global AI market is valued at around $391 billion and projected to grow nearly fold by 2033. And what that means is the ecosystem you operate in, things like content creation, monetization, and digital products is shifting underneath your feet. If you don't plan for change, you'll be chasing reactive moves instead of leading. Number 2, business failure is real without a plan. One analysis is of why new businesses fail highlights missing or weak business plans as a major factor. Poor market research, unclear value perception, and no defined strategy. So even if you're creating amazing stuff, without a map, you can end up spinning your wheels. Number 3, creators are business owners now. You're not just making content, you're scaling a brand, building revenue streams, automating systems, managing teams or collaborators. And that requires a different mindset, right? Strategic planning isn't optional. It's fundamentally the best thing to do. So if you accept that strategic matters, the question becomes, what does strategy looks like? What does it look like? What are the pillars? What are the key elements? So let's walk through some of these, okay? Let's go through the 5 pillars real quick of a killer strategic plan. I believe every content creator needs these five pillars in their plan. Okay, so we're gonna go through them. Let's get into this one. Number one, vision and purpose. So with this, you're going to define your whys. What are you building, and for whom? Is this going to be for the long-term North Star? And where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? For creators, what legacy would impact, not just revenue? So here's an example. We exist to empower burnout entrepreneurs to reclaim momentum, build smart, and scale without sacrificing self. That could be your mission. Okay? That's what we do here at Not Just Candle Talk. So number 2, market and audience clarity. Who exactly are you serving? What problems are you solving? What are their pains, desires, behaviors? So map out your audience, the demographics, where they live, and things like that. Research the market, talking about trends, where's the gaps in the market, and who are your competitors. In 2025, especially, the creator economy is shifting. Platforms change the way you make money, so your audience clarity is more important than ever. Okay? Number 3, offer and a revenue model. What are you selling? Is it digital products? Is it service, memberships, sponsorships, collaborations? And how do you price it? How do you package it? What are your revenue streams, your primary, your secondary, and your passive income? So, for example, for the brand for Not Just Candle Talk, what is our lead magnets, and the things that we do? We do mini courses, we do memberships. We also are getting into private coaching, private podcast episodes, and mini courses. That's what we're doing right now. And that's how we package our brand in every aspect of our episodes and our motto. Number 4, go to market and growth strategy. How will you reach your audience? What marketing channels? What content strategies? What is your funnel? What's the conversion path? Because it's not just enough to have an offer. You must have the plan to get it in front of people, convert them, and retain them. Consider your creator channel, various touch points. For instance, YouTube, social media, and your email. Plan for each avenue, right? Number 5, operations, systems, and metrics. I know that's a lot, but it's important, right? All of these things mesh together. What systems will you put in place so your brand scales instead of you burning out? We talk about burnout all the time on the podcast and how to avoid it, how to deal with it. That's probably one of our biggest drivers on a lot of these episodes. What matrix will you track? Is it going to be the revenue, your lead conversion rate, retention, all of those things? If you're familiar with those, you know what I'm talking about. What roles, tasks will you have to outsource or automate? I've touched on this before about hiring or just putting certain things on automation. Without good operations, everything else falls apart. You really have to treat your creator, your content creating as a business. It is. After a while, it becomes a business because you have to implement all of these things that we're discussing right now. So let's pause for a moment and link this to current events so we can feel the urgency. Okay? With AI escalating, as we noted, creators need effective systems and metrics more than ever. You can no longer wing content creation and hope for the best. That's what I said. I'm repeating myself. I apologize. Also, many startups and small businesses are tightening budgets, undergoing layoffs, slowing hiring. That means your competition might be stiffened, investments might be tightened, but also the advantages goes to those with a plan, right? Planning is more important now than ever. Finally, the creator economy is maturing. Becoming a hobbyist doesn't pay the bills. So the offer and revenue model pillars must be solid. Okay. Now let's get practical. We've heard the pillars. Now here's how you actually build your strategic plan. Sorry about that. Step by step, and plug it into your creator business. Okay, so let's get into that. Step A, write your one-page strategic document, your vision and purpose. Okay, 2 sentences. All right. With your audience, you're going to define a niche, of course. We hear that all the time. For an example, creators who are burnt out but still have a spark and want to scale smart. Okay. What is your core offer? List 1 to 3. Your key growth channels. List 1 to 2 to focus on for the next 90 days. Your key metrics, track and list 3. This one pager becomes your anchor. Okay. Step B, the 90-day tactical plan. Break down what will you do this quarter, which is 12 weeks, to move forward. Week 1, refine audience surveys and do deep dives. Week 2, audit your content and your monetization offers. Week 3 and 4, create your signature offer. Weeks 5 through 8, launch funnel and promote. Weeks 9 through 12, optimize and plan for your next quarter. There's that word again, plan. Assign tasks, deadlines. Even if it's just you, still note those tasks and make those deadlines, okay? Step C, monthly and weekly check-ins. At start of each month, review your 12-week plan. Adjust based on what's working, okay? Weekly, review metrics such as your leads, your conversions, your revenue, and your content performance. If a metric is off, ask why and pivot fast. Step B, build systems and automation. Use tech and tools such as email automation, scheduling, and content repurposing analysis. And you can outsource what doesn't move the needle, okay? Like graphic design or editing. Document your processes. That way you can scale without burning out. Step E, stay agile. Remember, planning doesn't mean doesn't mean that you have to not understand what the platforms mean, or how your monetization models evolve. Okay. It means all of that. You have to stay agile. Your plan must have a pivot trigger. If funnel conversions drop 2%, perform your audit as quickly as possible. Because as we noted, AI creators, startup ecosystems is evolving rapidly. So you got to stay stay in the know of everything that's going on each platform. Okay. All right. So let's talk about content creation specifically. Like many of you who are listening, you often have additional layers. You have your community, your authenticity, and your brand voice. So here are the 3 creator specific planning tactics. Okay. Content creator strategies. You can use a calendar. You can plan your content to support your offer and your funnel. Okay. You can repurpose smartly. And you can put all of your monetization on different streams. Don't rely on just one stream of income. Maybe you can do sponsorships. You can do a course membership. You could do a live events. All of this is backed by your strategic planning. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you a mini story real quick. Let's step away from the all of the business stuff. Let's talk about a real story. A young lady named Alex. She was a content creator who launched a podcast and made some content and got some traction, but she didn't have a plan. She had no clear funnel, no conversion strategy. She had nothing. She didn't plan anything. And of course, what happened? She got burnt out. This is what we talk about on a lot of my episodes on this podcast. After she did her burnout and got back on her feet, she decided to plan everything from top to bottom. And this is what planning does. It helps creators scale their personal brands and generate more income, grow an audience base. And by doing that, you can go to different avenues of platforms for different income, right? And within 6 months after she started planning, she took her time and she doubled her revenue. This episode was based on Alex's story. She reached out to me via email, and she told me, "Look, why don't you do a podcast about planning, and I'll tell you some things that I went through and just hit on this topic, and I would greatly appreciate it. Get my story out there. Get this message out there, how important it is to plan, especially now. Because in 2025, we're seeing that the landscape is tougher for those without strategy, right? For example, many startups are, like I said before, they're cutting costs and refocusing. Okay. This is pulled from a headline. A biotech firm cutting 30% workforce to extend cash runway. This signals a budget shrink, competition rises, and value must be cleared. For content creators, entrepreneurs, that means you can't rely on hope. Again, you need a plan. Also, the AI boom means tools are cheaper and more accessible. So the barrier of entry is lower, right? And that's what we want. We want high results low at a low cost. Unfortunately, that's how businesses ran. But that also means more competition, right? The ones who will stand out are the ones who strategize. This is nothing new. This is how businesses ran, right? The raw data, 90% of tech workers now use AI in their jobs. So if they're using it in jobs, rest assured, entrepreneurs, creators, small business owners, it's a must. These tools are universal. Strategy becomes the competitive edge. You want to implement them as soon as possible. So let's wrap this with some actionable steps you can start today. I also challenge you by the end of the week to draft 1-page strategic plan. And here's your blueprint. Block out of 1 hour every day this week, or start next week, however you want to do it. Define your vision and purpose and write it down. The next day, identify your audience. Do a mini survey or a poll in your community. What's their number one challenge? Within 3 days, map your offer stack. What are you selling now? What could you upsell or add in 90 days? Okay, after those weeks, after that 1 week, after you do all of that, it's a lot, I know, I'm sorry. Build a 12-week tactical plan. And go back to this episode, see step B above, before when I was doing all the steps, assign tasks and deadlines. Within a few more weeks, set up your matrix dashboard and choose 3 metrics to track weekly. Okay? And every week, review your matrix. Every month, review your plan. Every quarter, revise your 12-week plan. All right? I know this is a lot, but it's so necessary. It's so necessary. I want you to commit to this, if you will. By the next podcast or by the next 12 weeks, you'll have your 1-page strategic plan ready. Share it with me. Even if you send a screenshot or do it on your socials or do it on, you can send it on my socials. You can DM me if you want. Send it through an email. And let's see your progress in it. Join Not Just Candle Talk community, and let's talk about it, okay? All right, so now you have the deep dive in strategic building planning. Why it matters, what the pillars are, how you execute it, and a blueprint you can use this week. If you are a creator or a small business builder who's ready to stop hustling blind and start planning smart, this right here is your moment. And by the way, if you love today's episode, please share it with a fellow creator who's building. Drop a review, join the conversation at Not Just Candle Talk, and let me know what your 1-page strategy looks like. I said that a little while ago. Let me know how's it going for you. As always, thanks for tuning in. Stay raw, stay strategic. And I'll catch you next time. Oh, also, before I go, I'm sorry. In the show notes of this episode, I'm going to have a downloadable PDF workbook, absolutely free. You can get it on the Linktree app. We have Linktree / Not Just Candle Talk. All the downloads or checklist are in on that platform. Again, that's Linktree / Not Just Candle Talk. All of the downloads are free, as I said before. But for this episode, I'm going to download a workbook. All right. So we can keep track of this. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.